Three, two, one. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
In the House of Craze tonight, we have a guest with a book called An Earth-Shattering Secret. Is that what the name of the book is, Shazam? Or that's just what you put up there for the
I just put it
the
up.
people?
That's not the name of the book.
Got me. And we're going to be giving you guys, it's going to be fun tonight because we're going to be talking about books for writers. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as the show goes on. But that's what we got going on today. Let's do it.
Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. Yeah, you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam, the Crazy Man, Sarah, and I am what?
George, the Dreamer, Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. It's been a couple of weeks since I think we last saw you guys. It is December 10th. December 10th. We are almost halfway through the month. Lou Pons is in the house. What's up? We are 15 days away from Christmas. It's all happening too fast, Sam. It's all happening too fast. But for those who have joined us right now, please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do all the fun things we like you guys to do. Please share this video out to peoples. I see there's a few of you watching already. Hit that like button. Share this bad boy out. We're going to be talking today with his name is Sondisa Obie. And he's got a really, really cool book. I read the book, the first issue he sent us. Very, very fun book about, it's the end of the world in Maryland, Marland, as he calls it, instead of Maryland. And people get superpowers, except for one. And he is the difference, it looks like. He's going to make the difference in this universe he's created. So
Yes.
we're going to be talking to him about that today. That's going to be fun. And we're also going to be giving you guys just a few recommendations for your writing friends out there. If you have a writing friend who has no idea what to, who you have no idea what to give for Christmas.
Yes.
We're going to have some recommendations for you guys today. So, but what's going on? Sam, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing
Sean?
I'm doing good. It's I just about wrapped up a project that I was doing, which is good. So right now I'm thumbnailing issue number 7 for There's an Alien in My Toilet, and I am getting ready. I'm getting ready for the 20-year anniversary of There's an Alien in My Toilet in Duty. So we're gonna kick off the new year on a high. I'm getting ready to launch that. I'm gonna have a special 20-year anniversary cover. Limited edition cover. That's gonna be dope. What's up? End up heading to house.
What up, Eddie?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have a special 20-year anniversary cover for There's an Alien in My Toilet, and I'm going to be opening up to 20 artists out there to get their rendition of Duty published in the art book, which will come out in the fall. And so, in honor, and I'm going to be doing something at every different convention this year in celebration of the 20th anniversary. There's going to be some special trading cards. There's going to be a whole lot of stuff. So, it's going to be a big year for Duty, and so I'm excited about that.
Nice. Yeah, man, it is going to be 20 years, right? It's 20 years since the beginning.
20 years at a Dudester.
Yeah. Long time, dude. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, brother. Awesome. And I know you have a few videos that are going to be coming out of your YouTube channel for some of the stuff that happened earlier in the year. I also owe some videos to people on my YouTube channel, so stay tuned for those. Those will be coming out soon. And yeah, man, big things for next year. I still don't know really what I'm going to be doing as far as conventions go next year. I know you have like an idea.
Yeah, I have a shopping list
Yeah.
of events that I want to do next year, and here's the list of what's pending. And so I have Texoma's confirmed and LitCon's confirmed. Everything else is pending, and Staples don't open up their applications till January. So, but everything else, I'm just waiting for an answer. All have been applied to, and San Diego put me on a waiting list. So if they don't give me an answer by January, I won't be doing San Diego because I need a few months, because logistically that's a different venue. It's a bigger venue, and shipping my stuff and going out there and all that stuff. I need a few months ahead of time to plan that out.
Yeah,
I'm going to get on Creative by Duty. Oh yeah. So yeah, more to come. I'm excited about that. So yeah, lots to come. I want to do one show a month for next year. So I want to do 12. Last year I did more than 12. I want to do 12, and then I want to do a bunch of LCSs and so local stuff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next year. I finished 2 projects that I can't talk about just yet with Duty that will be published through me. It will, so it's doing some really cool projects. I can't wait to share it with you guys. And now I'm working on issue 7.
Yeah, no, that's a lot, man. 12 conventions. I mean, I actually have, what am I doing? I think next week or this next weekend, I'll be at a con just attending. But yeah, no, 12 is a lot, man. 12 conventions is a lot. It's a lot for the year. So that's
why, I was only going to do one out of state, which was San Diego. And because I want to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of Duty, and I wanted to do it at San Diego, but since they put me on a waiting list, I don't know if I'm going to be there.
Yeah. No, I what you call it? The what was it this year? This year I did one every month, but I wasn't a vendor at one every month. And but it's a lot. It's a lot. And it's costly. It's very, very costly.
Yeah.
To do a convention, 12 conventions throughout the year. So hopefully by going into comic book shops, that'll balance out some of the cost, because that's no cost for you at that point. Well, and you're also in Texas, right? So you're not going to be staying overnight anywhere, I don't think.
No, but two of those conventions that I'm doing next year are no cost to me, and it's local. So
there you go. So that's
good.
A little bit.
What's up, Dan in the house?
Yeah.
So yeah. So those 2 are local, and then and then a couple of them are within driving distance, so there's no hotel stay.
Yeah. I still got to figure out what I'm going to do next year. I think there's one in Jersey I'm going to be doing next year, and that's in April, end of April. Right. So yeah, so I think they just actually send me an email reminding me to send in the application and all that stuff. What up?
Nice.
He was in the house.
Arroyos Compollos.
Yeah, so that's what I'll be doing. So next year we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm going to be in Texoma because I'll be out there with you.
Yeah,
doing that convention. So that's going to be a good time.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good, man. That's going to be good. Yeah, so 2025, man. I have a new book that I want to have out next year, which is going to be the shameless plug. Working on that. It's coming along very, very nicely. I'll have some information about Wonder Duck and what I'm doing with Wonder Duck next year. So that stay tuned for some of that news to come out. Well, I'll talk about it here on the show probably within the next couple of weeks. And yeah, man, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, man. Next year, people are gonna learn a lot more about Herman, which is and some characters related to Herman. Some Ken Ketchum. So there's so Herman's gonna have his little thing going on. It's gonna be some fun stuff. I'm really excited. Texoma, I know it's a big military area. I will be having some more. They ate up the Duty military stuff, so I'm gonna have some Duty military stickers and stuff like that for those guys out there. So I'm looking forward to it. But I will be kicking off the 20-year anniversary launch party at LitCon, and then every month from that point on, there'll be something going on.
Texoma was fun last year, bro. I actually got to meet Lori Calcaterra in person. Big shout out to Lori, creator of the Path of the Pale Rider. Check that out. So
she'll be on the show.
She'll be there. Oh, okay. She's coming back. Right. Yeah. She's coming back. Yeah. So she'll be on the show in February, and we're going to be at Texoma. It's February, I think, right?
Texomer isn't is it February?
Yes.
Is it?
I think it's at the middle, maybe.
Let me see. It's on my thing.
You guys are loaded up. Looking forward to it all. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yes, it is February.
End of
Yes.
Zed. It is February, right? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to end of Zed, Ed. So I can't wait.
Oh
Actually,
yeah, I hope I sent you my address because I forgot to answer the Kickstarter email that I got.
Come on, dog.
I'm not good at stuff.
So yeah, no, it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to that too. I'm also looking forward to speaking to our guest today. But before we get to our guest, let's talk a little bit about some gift giving ideas. We're gonna do 2 of these shows, one for writers and one for artists. Writers are up.
Yeah.
It's time for your medicine.
Writers.
Slacking with the images. I apologize, guys.
Yeah.
I just got home from work.
I was looking.
Dog slacking. So Sam, your idea this when did we speak yesterday or something? You were like, yo, why don't we do this? So what are we doing today? Explain to the folks.
103 Little Butts Lane.
Wow.
Baby's got back so much he always front.
Little Butts Lane.
That's a bar right there. So yeah. So it's the time of the year, gift giving, right? It's like we're in the creative space, and like what's a good gift for a creative, a writer, right? And so this segment we're talking about writers, right? So and then we both approached it from two different aspects, right? You approached it from writing books of writing, and I approached it from the top 10 best written graphic novels that a writer might appreciate, right? So why don't you go first, George?
Mine is short. So I narrowed it down. I mean, there's obviously tons of these books out there, but I narrowed it down to 3. Okay, and these are the 3 books that I feel are probably some of the best books for writers who are trying to write comics or writing comics, getting into the writing comics thing. And the first one I'm going to mention, and I think you said you might have it. I definitely have to get it. Writing for Comics and Graphic Novels with Peter David.
Yes.
Now, for those who don't know who Peter David is known for his work on The Incredible Hulk and X Factor. Okay, yeah. So he's got a guide to writing comics. He covers essential topics. He's got plot structure in there. He's got character development, obviously dialogue, and also offers tips on breaking into the industry. So the book is not just a book about how to write a great story, plot structure, and all that other stuff, but it also gives you some tips on how to get into the industry.
Word.
So it's a great introduction to the craft of comic book writing, and it's really good, according to this, for beginners and those looking to refine their skills.
Nice.
So definitely check out.
What was the title?
Writing for Comics and Graphic Novels with Peter David. So definitely try to get your hands on that. If you have a friend who wants to get into the industry or wants to write comics, or you want to write comics, make sure you put that on your wish list or give it to a friend. The other one that I have here, and this is a basic one, almost like I think everybody probably has this one already, the DC Comics Guide to Writing Comics. And this was written by Dennis O'Neil, who is legendary writer and editor, for Batman. He did that for decades, and he talks about just the practical guide, right? He covers the fundamentals of comic book writing, again, story structure, pacing, characterization, and he uses examples from classic DC comic stories. So it just provides a solid foundation for understanding the craft of writing comics and doing it from a professional standpoint. You're talking about Batman, and DC. Right. So that's the other one, the DC Comics Guide to Writing Comics. And then this one's actually one of my favorites. I have this book. It's not even a big book. It's a short book. You guys can probably read that on the train. It's called Alan Moore's Writing for Comics. Now, Alan Moore is going to make your list because he's the writer behind Watchmen, V for Vendetta, From Hell. For those who don't know, that From Hell, that movie with what's his name, with Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm.
From Hell was a graphic novel, and that was written by Alan Moore. So that he's the writer of that. He has in this book he has insights on the art of comic book writing in this. It's like an essay collection. He does it in like essays. It's really well done.
What a essay.
He delves into the unique challenges and opportunities of the medium. And he discusses topics like world building, right? Narrative techniques and relationship between writer and artist, which I think is very important for writers, obviously, of comics. You know, when you talk about relationship between the writer and the artist, what's the writer's job? What's the artist's job? How do you guys communicate? And it's not a traditional how to guidebook. It's a book about, it's just thought provoking and it's very inspiring. You know, it's a very good book because he doesn't just go into like, hey, this is how you do it. It's like, this is why you do it and why he feels we should do it that way. So yeah, it's a very good book. So those really quickly are the 3 books that I recommend. Alan Moore's Writing for Comics, the DC Comics Guide to Writing Comics, and Writing for Comics and Graphic Novels with Peter David. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's some good recommends.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Add that to the arsenal.
Go get them.
Yeah. So then I looked up, and I went to Goodreads.com and I put the 10 best written graphic novels. And of course, of the top 10, Alan Moore has 3 of the top 10. He has the number 1, right? He has the number 1, which is Watchmen. Comes up at number 1, right? So if you haven't read Watchmen, if you don't know who Alan Moore is, if you're a writer trying to break into the biz, you need to go and pick it up. Ask somebody you what it's talking about, right? And so he has number 1. He also has number 7.
What's the matter with you?
He has number 1, number 3, V for Vendetta, right? And he also has number 7. I'm sorry, number 7, Batman: The Killing Joke.
It's insane that The Killing Joke is number 7.
Yes,
and that's a great book, bro. I was telling you, that's what made me fall in love with the Joker, was The Killing Joke. The way he wrote that was just off the hook. He also wrote a great story called Top 10 as well. Get out of here. For real?
Where's guy? Hey,
hey.
Yeah, so he has 3 of the top 10, and but you know what? Another fantastic writer, Brian K. Vaughan, has 2 of the top 10, and also Frank Miller has 2 of the top 10. So number 2 is by Art Spiegelman, The Complete Mouse. So that's by Art Spiegelman. Then you have someone named Marjane Satrapi, The Complete Persepolis. Making me work.
They're making you sweat over here.
Preludes and Nocturnes, The Sandman number 1 by Neil Gaiman is number 5.
Very nice.
Batman: The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller is number 6. And The Killing Joke is number 7. Yeah. Brian K. Vaughan comes back with Saga Volume 1. And then Brian K. Vaughan has number 9, which is Why the Last Man, Volume 1, Unmanned. And then to top off the top 10 list, Frank Miller ends it with Batman Year 1. So that's the top 10 best written graphic novels, according to Goodreads.com.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, of those 10, how many have you actually read?
Of these, I read The Dark Knight Returns, and that's it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I've read maybe 4 of them.
I have The Killing Joke. I just haven't read it. I have
yes,
yours.
You have The Killing Joke. It's my Killing Joke. You son of a...
I haven't read it yet.
I left it there before you left New York.
I know. You know why? Because it's in the box, and I haven't taken it out of the box. I don't know which box it's in.
It's a nice one too. It's a nice one.
Yeah. So, but it's packed nicely. But yeah. So I haven't read it yet. But of those, you know why? Because a lot of it is not Marvel. And at that time, a lot of that came out, and I was a big Marvel guy.
Yeah.
Right.
I hear.
So that's why. But they have. I mean, the Jeff Smith Bone comes in at number 16, the complete edition. That comes in there. Preacher's in there.
Yeah.
In the top 20.
Any Marvel books in there?
Scott Pilgrim's in there in the top 20. Fables.
Do they have any Marvel books in there?
Let's see.
Damn, you got to scroll down.
You got to scroll. Jesus. From Hell's in there by Alan Moore.
Oh, it is.
He's number 23. Alan Moore has got a lot of books in this list.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so Lock and Key's in there. Metropolitan's in there.
Good, man. Lock and
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Alan Moore. Man, this guy's touched everything, bro.
Oh,
damn.
Jeez.
Yeah, so
talking about.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so obviously, if you're a writer or an aspiring
Yeah.
writer and you haven't picked up Alan Moore, you need to pick it up.
Pick up his stuff, man. Pick up his
Yeah,
stuff, and definitely pick up that book. Alan Moore's Writing for Comics.
yeah,
He talks a little bit about how we look. Whenever you talk to somebody who's writing a comic book or whatever, they always talk about, hey, I see it as a movie, right? I
yeah,
see it as a movie,
yeah.
and Alan Moore stands on that. Well, and I'm going to paraphrase. I'm not going to quote the man, but his stance on it is we have to give the comic book medium its due and not try to compare it or not try to do the things that a movie can do, because it's
Right.
not the same thing. They're
Not the same
two
thing.
very different things. So we need to give comic book writing its due and use what we can within it to enhance our stories rather
Yes.
than try to copy what a movie would do and how a movie's written. It's
Right.
not a movie. Comic
Not a
books are
movie.
not movies. They're comic books.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's interesting, man. It's an interesting book. It's an interesting take on the industry. So I definitely recommend that. You guys should check that out. And then the others, I got to check out. I got to read the Peter David book, and the DC Comics Guide. So
It's funny because I've been writing my whole life, right? So since I was a kid, but I didn't consider myself a writer because I've been writing poetry and songs and short stories and my own stories. But I was always an artist first, right? And that's how I approached it. And everything that influenced me started with the art and then the story.
Yeah.
And when I look back on it, I was like, I wonder if I missed some things in life because I didn't gravitate towards the writer first. I always gravitated to the artist first because for me, I'm visually inspired.
Yeah.
But I love great written stories. I mean, I've read, The Wheel of Time. I've read, I've read like 20 different Star Wars novels. I've read, was it the Da Vinci Code? I've read so many, and I love good stories when, in a written form, but I never approached it that way from a creative standpoint. I wanted to master the art of illustration, and my style. And because I, for some reason, poetry and music and writing for me was organic part of being a creator. So I always consider myself a creative, being a creator. But I've always been influenced by well-written stuff.
Yeah. I didn't actually start writing scripts for comic books until maybe like when I met you and I started working with you and the guys at Crazy Comics and stuff like that. Before that, it was like I was just like you said, it's a visual medium. So I'd sit down and I'd draw what I wanted to write. It wasn't like I wrote down, panel one, panel. I didn't do it like that. I did it in a way where, like, because obviously because you're writing or drawing the story, because you're drawing the story, you're basically just drawing it, writing anything down. So yeah, it was I was the same way, like growing up, just I wasn't reading how-to books on how to write or anything like that. That was just something that happened after the fact. But yeah, it's interesting, man, how we all create, like everybody has a different way of creating. There's no wrong way.
There's no wrong way. It's like I always said, it's like for me, it's like stop motion that happens in your head, right? I mean, I can see and I hear the characters talking. I mean, when you and I were doing table reads for Cast the Crazies, I get into the characters because I can hear them, right? And so that's how I hear them telling me the story. And it's hard to explain, but when you're tapped in, it's amazing. When you're not tapped in, it's frustrating, right? So it's like when you're tapped into that creative moment and the juices are flowing and the universe is there and everything's working, it's like woof, like this project that I just did, like I love it, right? And so I was like, man, like I really gave it care and TLC, but I was tapped in, boom, and so when it comes, take advantage of it.
Yeah, man. Nah, it's I think Jim Shooter was talking about the Marvel method versus the DC method, right? And everybody knows the Marvel. Well, maybe not everybody knows, but for those who know, the Marvel method was Stan Lee would walk in, give the plot, say, hey, this is what I want on the page. This is what I'm thinking for the story. And then Jack Kirby will go in there and create these incredible freaking comics, from just the plot. Right. And then Stan would come back in and put the words. And then obviously DC method is panel one, page one, panel one. This is what happens in panel one. Blah, blah, blah.
That was my style for a while.
Yeah.
DC method.
But this is the thing, right? He said the Marvel method works great, right? It is fast and it's everything. When you have a great storyteller.
Yeah.
When you have a Jack Kirby, and how many people are Jack Kirby? So when you have that, the Marvel method works.
Yeah.
If you don't have that artist, The Marvel method does not work.
No.
Does not work. That's when you need the DC method, where the writer's telling the artist what to do and how to do it and whatever. But the and then the DC method doesn't work when the writer doesn't know what the hell he's doing. If the writer doesn't know what the hell he's doing, he's gonna give you crap when it comes to panel. He's not gonna know page turns. He's not gonna know any of that stuff because he's not a good writer. So you really have to be able to master, or when you're creating comics, be a great storyteller. Find yourself an artist who's a great storyteller. Yeah. And I got to give a shout. I think Anibal, I don't know if he's still in the chat. This guy is a great story. He's a great sequential artist.
Yes.
He can tell a great story. I remember when we first worked with him on Forbidden. Remember that?
Yeah.
When he was sending in those pages, we were like, what the hell?
Bloody hell. Yeah. And then he would say, look, this didn't work, and I decided to change it to this, but he knew because he had the eye, right?
Right.
And so I was like, all right, cool, right? Because I mean, I was just floored by his work.
Yeah.
But that right. So when I write for knowing that someone else is going to produce my work, it's the DC method.
Yeah.
When it's for me, it's the Marvel method. I'm just talking to myself.
Well, because you're the artist.
Yeah, but I always have in my database, I always have the plot, the history, the character bios, and the whole purpose of the story. That's already that's created. Like that's my Bible. That's my Bible. So I have that already written.
That's the toolbox, right?
Yes,
you go into the toolbox and you bring out your tool. Okay, what is this character? What's his background? Okay, cool. I know what I'm going to do with this character because you have his background. You have those things. Those are the tools, and so you just use them. Yeah.
Like when I started doing this project and I'm telling Herman's story, this character is in Herman's world, right?
Of course, man. It's true.
Man. So there's characters but I haven't touched that. Remember, I created the book Herman Coming to America, the title, and I was going to work on that years ago. And but the thing is, I have the character guide and I have the bios and I have everything. So when I started working on this project, I just pulled it out. I was like, here it all is. Here's the characters. Here's the history. Here's everything. Boom, boom, boom. So all I needed was a quick refresher because I had it all there. I didn't have to reinvent the wheel, and I already knew where I needed to go because I lived with that story in my head for 20 years. So I think, if you're creating for yourself, do the back work. Make sure that you have that whole history, the Bible, the characters, the purpose, protagonist, antagonist, all that stuff. And then you can worry about the script afterwards because you already understand the world building that you've created.
Yeah. Even as a writer, dude, like I write tons of notes. Like if I have an idea for like a story, I'll write it. Like I'll put it on my phone. I'll just start typing like the idea. I'm so glad I do that because like I'm working on a Wonder Duck story that I wrote years ago, but it's written. It's all written out. Like almost like the ideas are written down. So because I go back and I'm like, damn, that was a good idea. What was it I was thinking? Boom, it's on paper. It's like, oh, this is what I was thinking at the time. Yeah. This is great. And now, obviously, with what we've learned and what you can make it even better now because we obviously grow as creators, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. You have to have all that stuff.
Yeah.
You have to have it.
Because that saves you so much time and anguish when you have that Bible. Yeah, thank you, Haribal. When you have that Bible, right? And it's like, and it's like I learned that by freaking I remember I brought up the how to draw comics the Marvel way, how to create comics the Marvel way, right? Yeah. And then what I did was I was trying to, all right, I want to create my own scripts, and I looked at a sample script. I said, oh, this is easy. I just need to format it this way, and so because I already had the Bible, so let me get the scripts going. But I knew that if I was going to break in, I needed to be taken seriously. So this is what the system, that's what the system was calling for. This is what you need to have in place. And so I made sure that I had that secured. Because I wanted to be taken seriously. So I did my homework. I was a student of the game. Yeah.
No, that's good, man. No, that's what you need. It's time consuming. It is, but it's well worth it. It's well worth it because like you said, it just makes your life that much easier.
Yeah.
It's time to actually put pen to paper, pen to paper or pen to iPad or whatever the hell we're doing.
And it's funny, when you say that, because like if anybody picked up Duty's Monsters, right? So there's a cameo with Cosmic Gorf, and Cosmic Gorf was my first comic book that I produced was Cosmic Wars, right? But I have his backstory, and because it's aliens, it's an alien world, it fits into the narrative if you know his history, right? And so, but I already have that database, and I have I have the Bible for Cosmic Wars with all the different characters in the world, right? So I can complement it and introduce it into a new arc in the Duty universe. So that's why it's important. I have the Bible and the backstory for art. Everything I've created, I have everything. I just have to go to the book, dust it off, and go. Where was this and where was that? The more that you do all that pre-work, the easier it is to just be able to continue where you left off.
Yeah. I know that when I was creating, when I first wrote Russ, the reason why I got stuck in issue 3 was because I hadn't written anything. There was no background story. It wasn't until I went back to write some breakdowns, even just breakdowns of chapters, right? Chapter 1, chapter 2, this was going to happen in these chapters. Even if you do that, it helps you when you're kind of trying to flesh out the script. I didn't have any of that. So I had a wall. I didn't know where to go from there. So for me, it was very important to have that background stuff. Otherwise, you get lost in your own story. You just do, or you forget great ideas and stuff like that. I hate to waste a great idea. Write it down, put it down. Speak to your phone now. Now you can just record notes.
Exactly. I have what is it Notepad on the iPhone, right? And that's why I put all my notes. And I title it so I know I find it easy. Especially when there's like dialogue, like when I start hearing Duty telling me some stuff, I say, oh, this goes into, and it, like the project I was working on, the dialogue comes to me afterwards. Like, oh, that's a great zinger, right? Oh, that's a great conversation. And I'll put those notes in so it's fresh in my memory.
Yeah, no, it's true, man. It's true. Good point. Do we have our guest yet, Tim?
Our guest just popped in the waiting room. But I want to remind everybody that 2025 will be celebrating the 20-year anniversary of There's an Alien in My Toilet. And it's going to be a party. And it's going to be huge. But we're going to kick it off. More to come on the details for that. But here's a little reminder. What's up?
What's going on? How you doing?
What's going on, man? How you doing? Hey, now, did I mess up your name at the beginning? Is it Sondisa? Is that how you say it? How do you pronounce it?
Sondisa, perfect. You got it perfect, man.
Because George normally tears it up. So you got it right. You got it right.
To mess up a name or two. You know what I mean? So welcome, Sondisa, to the show. Thank you, man, for coming on. Thank you for a great book, dude. What is the title of your book?
So it's titled Blessed. Yes. And thank you both for having me. I recently got hip to what you guys do, but I think it's dope what you guys are doing. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And for those who don't know, Sondisa, introduce yourself. Where you from, and how did you get into this crazy game of writing and creating comics?
Yeah. So my name is Sondisa. I'm 31. I'm from Florida. So I was pretty much raised in Florida, but I was born in Ohio. And how I got into writing comics. So I've always been a book nerd. I was the kid in class just reading while everybody else was kind of doing their work. And my dad has always been a comic book guy. So he actually had like a real huge collection of comic books growing up, but he had to sell them to help pay for college. But he kind of imparted that knowledge and love for comics onto me. And so growing up, I grew up on a lot of X-Men, Fantastic Four, mostly Marvel. DC is cool too, but mostly Marvel. And I think it was when fourth grade, I got put on to like anime and manga. And I remember reading Dragon Ball in the school library, or going to the library outside of school and just like staying there reading Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho, all those different types of stories. And so fast forward to me growing up, I've always had different stories in my head that I've wanted to share, but I never, I always thought, it's so hard, trying to make a comic book. I can draw, but like for me to be able to draw that quick and be able to make a comic, that's a lot of work. And I just started doing like research on other, indie comic book creators and how they go about it. And so I had a story in mind. I reached out to an illustrator on Upwork, and we connected. We had a good chemistry going. And I shared with her my story, and she was interested. And so from there, I just started writing, and now I'm almost ready for the first issue to be officially printed.
That's awesome,
Nice.
dude. That's awesome.
Nice.
Is Bless the first story? Is Bless the story that you contacted her to work with you on, or that's your first one? Yeah, dude. Listen, the artwork on that story is amazing, man. She did an incredible job with the artwork. Really, really nice. Where's she from? Where's the artist from?
She's from Portugal.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Shout out to Ep572. I don't have her exact name, but shout out to her because she does amazing work.
So let me ask you a question, Sondisa. So going into the story, so the story is called Blessed, right?
Yeah.
And it's a very cool story, man. Is it in the future? Like, I love the fact that you didn't really disclose like an actual year. You know what I mean? You kind of it's like this world that you created. Do you have an idea of when the story takes place or no?
Yeah. So it takes place. The opening scene takes place on December 21st, 2012. In the version I sent you guys, maybe I didn't put that date in there, but it takes place on December 21st, 2012, which is also the day of when the Mayan apocalypse was foretold. Correct. And so after the events happen on those first few pages with the meteor shower, the radioactive meteor shower that happens, we fast forward 16 years from there, so the time period takes place kind of around where we are currently in modern day.
Gotcha. No, and what I was going to say about that was that, so when you're writing, because the story takes place in an urban setting, right? And it's you call it Marlin instead of Maryland, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
No, but it's about this kid, this kid like who grows up, in the streets, because he's very street smart, right?
Yeah.
But when I say that, because sometimes when you are instructing or you hire an artist to draw a certain style, hip hop, that kind of style.
Yeah.
You worry sometimes that they may not get it if they're not from, I guess I'm going to say the States, but that sounds stupid because hip hop is worldwide, right?
Yeah.
So that world is just worldwide. But I always worry about that. Did you guys have conversations about what the clothes should look like, what the areas should look like? Because you have a really cool shot of like Baltimore.
Yeah.
Or Baltimore, as you call it.
Yeah.
It's legit. Like I've been there and I know exactly where that is, like the overhead shot. So how did you work that in? Was it references? Was it conversations? Like what did you guys do to get that?
So the reason I chose like Baltimore is kind of like a reference is because I lived there for 4 years for school. And so I was in Baltimore City, and I really got accustomed to it. And I always thought, like if I were going to write a story in an urban setting, like it's got to be based on Baltimore, because the Baltimore City is a kind of a crazy place. If you've been there, you know.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. But yeah, I wasn't really worried about if people would get it, quote unquote. I was more so thinking, this is what I want to convey. If you don't get it, then it's an opportunity to pay attention and maybe learn something new, or get insight on something that you're unfamiliar with. And if you are kind of familiar with it, then that's cool too. Like you kind of have an idea of what to expect, or you have an understanding of what's going on.
Right. So for those watching, obviously, just give us a quick synopsis of what Blessed is about, so that they kind of know what we're talking about, because they're probably like, what the hell? What is this? What are we talking about?
Yeah. So Blessed is a how do I say this? It's basically sorry, 1 second.
Yeah.
So Blessed is basically a coming of age story about a young kid who finds himself. He has no powers, but he finds himself in a world 16 years later after a radioactive meteor shower. He finds himself in the streets of a district, which a district has is filled with those who are blessed, meaning those who have special abilities unique to themselves. And so he's the only one there. And so he shortly after, the story starts. Probably not. You won't find it in issue 1, but in the following issues, he finds himself pursued in an international manhunt for a secret that he never knew he possessed. And so it's just a coming of age story, talking about different themes such as fate, the decisions one makes, different sorts of oppression, like not letting systems of oppression, kind of decide what to do for you. Like you make your own choice instead of, like the circumstances that you find yourself in. So that's the direction that I was going with that.
I love how you flipped the superhero genre or the superpowered individual genre. Usually it's one person that has the superpower in a world where everybody's normal. In this world, everybody around him seems to have superpowers, and he's the one called normie. He's a normie. He doesn't have powers, yet he's the hero of the story. Talk to me about why you went that direction.
Yeah, I feel like, so I know comics typically, you have superheroes. Me personally, I always kind of thought like superheroes were kind of corny. Not all of them, but I don't know, just like I kind of just wanted to do something different where, there aren't superheroes. You just have kind of like people who are in certain situations and they're not thinking about, oh, I got to save the day, or, I have to do this. They're kind of just trying to make it through doing what they can. And they happen to have special abilities. I was also really influenced by anime and manga, because in anime and manga, they also don't really do superheroes. Right. They kind of just have individuals who find themselves in a situation, and for whatever reason they end up getting superpowers, or they end up being the protagonist. And I always found those stories much more interesting.
Yeah, no, I like the fact that, with the title Blessed, you obviously, the people who have this ability now after the catastrophic event that happens are blessed, right? They're blessed. So I think that you think for a second as the reader, you think, okay, so the story is called Blessed because of these people. But I feel like you're about to drop the shoe's about to drop, and it's not because of that. And I like that. I like the fact that after the first issue, obviously you ended in like a really cool reveal, which I'm not going to spoil for everybody. Just you're going to have to check that out. And it entails somebody who we forget about. And I love the way you wrote that. The way you wrote the story, I completely forgot about that. So when it comes back, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So how long is the story? Are you doing an ongoing series, or is this something that you have a beginning, middle, and end to it, and that's it?
That's a good question, George. Ideally, I would like to. So yeah, it's an ongoing series. Right. But ideally, like I have like a number of issues. Like I plan for it to be like a long running series. But I also am financing this out my pocket. So I think, if I can make it to 5 issues, that's a win for me, because I got the gist of, kind of what I want to convey. But yeah, ideally, for sure, I see this being like at least 30 issues. Yeah. It's a long running series that I have in mind.
That's the plight of the indie or the small press guy, or the person who's, who doesn't have a publishing company, who doesn't have the money back. And it is that you almost have to, I don't want to say limit yourself, but you definitely have to keep that in mind, right? Like I can't afford to keep this thing going if I want it to come out on time, right?
Right.
I'm going to need to put a cap on it for now, and maybe do it in the form of a graphic novel with 5 chapters, 6 chapters, or whatever, and then carry on with the rest of the story after that. If you're able to make, some more money in that way. Are you working on anything else other than Blessed though? Do you have other stories that maybe even spinoffs?
No, not at the moment. I do have like some ideas that I would like to pursue, but yeah, really Blessed has all my time and attention.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm really just trying to pour into that at the moment.
How much have you written of it already?
So I have almost 4 issues down. I'm working on the 4th issue, and at the moment we're currently getting issue 2 illustrated and ready to go.
Sweet, man, that's nice. Aniba has a question for you. Says, does the story include any autobiographical elements? If so, what are they?
Autobiographical elements. So like a kind of like they're self-narrating the story in a way. I think
I guess. I mean, I'm assuming he's asking whether it's like something that are you writing from like experiences of you, like, is it autobiographical in that
got
way?
you. Okay, yeah, if that's what you mean. Not really. I mean, the main character. Obviously, I put like a little bit of myself into him, but he's completely different from me. So yeah, it's not autobiographical in that way.
Right.
No.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff that happens in it, man. I enjoyed some of the characters you create, like Mo, for example, who's one of the bad guys, who has the power to what he turns into stone. Like,
yeah,
is that what he is?
Well,
So,
he has the power to absorb matter, so like he can touch something and then he'll become what he touches.
Yeah. Then you have the guy with the speed. You have the guy with the long arms and stuff like that. Like, are these now? Are these characters that you created for the world? Is it almost like I would say a parody on the superheroes that are out there, or where do they come from? How did you create some of these characters?
Yeah. So the speed guy and so Curls and Lur, they would be, I guess you can consider parodies. I kind of wrote them as kind of like matter of fact, if you think about the names Curls, Mo, and Lur, I kind of based them on the Three Stooges in a way. Yeah. But Mo was the only one that was supposed to be like prominent in the story. Curls and Lur, initially they weren't, but I think I do have like some ideas as far as what I want to do with them further into the story. But yeah, Mo is one of my favorite characters too. I have like really cool intentions, I think, with where I want to take him and his progression.
The look of the characters, is that something that you kind of went to her and said, hey, this is what I think he should look like? Because like you said, you can draw. Did you sketch it out, or was it something that she kind of just sent to you and you were like, wow, that works, I like that, let's do that?
So yeah, for the main I came up with all the like initial designs, and Susanna, my illustrator, she kind of took what I did and then put her own spin to it, and it was just a lot of back and forth as far as like what we want the characters to look like. Does it make sense for him to be wearing this given the day of the year, that sort of thing. So it was just a lot of back and forth between me and her.
That's dope, man. That's the process, man, and that's the fun process of it. How hard is it to communicate with her all the way out in Portugal? Like, do you guys do it through like Messenger, like WhatsApp? Like, how are you guys communicating?
We do it through Instagram and Gmail or email. So yeah, just back and forth through that, and she's very responsive, so it's not really an issue. We used to use Upwork, but we were having issues there. So, and we're very comfortable with each other now, so that we kind of communicate in any way.
That's awesome, dude. Is she how fast is she? Like how quickly is she producing these pages?
She's pretty fast. So the way the process works is I'll I'll have my script down, and then I'll send it to her. And so she'll basically sketch all the pages of the script first. And so I'll go through this, what she sketched, and kind of, tell her what I want to change, or if something isn't how I envisioned it. And so she'll fix that in the sketch. And so once I'm satisfied with the sketch, she'll then do the line art for all the sketches. And so she'll send me back the line art, and I'll okay that. And so then after the line art, she'll do what she calls the flats. So it's kind of like the line art with some color, but it's not like super detailed.
Right. Yeah.
So then I okay like the color, and then she comes back with a final product. So it doesn't take that long, I don't think. I think it's really subject to what other projects she has going on.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
She's very reasonable.
Yeah, but the fact that she's doing all of it, so she's doing everything, pencils, inks, colors, all of it. Yeah. Does she do the lettering as well, or?
Yeah. She does all of it. She's very good. I have been thinking I may need a colorist just to help her out, because I think it would help speed things along. But she does great work doing all of it by herself.
Because I feel like, and Sam, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like coloring is probably the thing that would probably take the longest.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It's the longest process. I do my own work, so
Yeah.
illustration is the quickest process. Is the coloring takes a lot longer because of the rendering and the tones and the lighting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And she does it all digitally too, so I don't even know how that affects things or how that works. But yeah,
no, she's doing a phenomenal job, man. So where can people pick up the book? Like, what are you doing a Kickstarter for? Are you doing like a crowdfunding campaign for it? How are you putting this book out?
So December 21st, I'm having pre-orders. I don't have a Kickstarter, and I was debating on if I should do a Kickstarter, but I didn't really have like a good following when I first started putting it out. And so I kind of wanted to just, use this first issue to kind of, just bring eyes to it, get people's attention. And then once issue 2 is almost done, I do want to start a Kickstarter for that one.
Okay. Yeah. Smart, man. Smart.
Yeah.
So they can get it on your website or on Instagram, I'm assuming.
So I'm actually in the process of making a website. So that's actually almost done too. So once that's done, I plan to post the link on my Instagram to the website, and you'll be able to see pre-orders here, and you'll be able to click and pre-order from their website. Yeah.
All right, dude. Yeah. Well, the link to your Instagram is in the chat. And so for those watching, obviously go check out him on Ebb and Flow Media on Instagram. And Sondisa, man, this has been great, dude. You're welcome back anytime. Whenever you're ready for book 2 and you have like a crowdfunding campaign for it, you want to talk about it, come in. You're more than welcome to come, man, and talk about it. I'm loving what you're doing so far, brother.
For sure. And thanks again, guys. Really, really appreciate the support and allowing me to show myself here. So thank you both.
Nah, for sure, brother.
Anytime. That's why we do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Be safe, man. We'll talk soon.
All right. Talk soon.
Later, brother. Bye. Sondisa. There he is. And Blessed is the book. Blessed.
Ebb and Flow Media.
Ebb and Flow Media. The book is Blessed. Check it out. Pre-orders December 21st. So follow him on social media so that you can find out when he's going to launch the website and when you can get your hands on that first issue. And which was, it was nice of him to send it to us, so that we can check it out, talk about it. And I read it. It's really well done, guys. It's a fun book. He did a good job. And so definitely check it out. I don't want to give anything away because, I really want you guys to check it out, but definitely a good book. Michael Sammartino's in the house. What up, Mike? What's going on? He's got a great name. Sounds like a pop star. Word, he does.
And now coming to the stage, we got Ebb and Flow. What's up?
Nah, he's dope, man. He's dope. So big shout out to him, man. That was good, man. That was good. Good stuff, man. What do we have next week? Do we have a guest next week? What are we doing next week?
Next week we do have a guest.
Great show, guys. The intro about 2025 is getting me so excited. Yeah, dude. I can't wait to see what you got for 2025, but we're definitely gonna be working on stuff for next year. And see where we go next year, man. He said, go ahead, Sammy, hit it. You're ready to hear you sing, dog.
That's all right. Let's see. Who do we got on next week? Next week we have Rick Dury.
Rick Dury, okay.
Rick Dury, we're doing several projects, the Heroic Awards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, he's got the tabletop role-playing games. He's got a comic series called Orphan Bloodline and an indie video game showcasing a dozen indie comic creators. So yeah, so they'll be coming on the show next week. And next week we'll be talking about the best books to give to an artist. We did writers this week. Next week, yeah, we gotta get the horsemen together.
We do, brother. We do. I know. Listen. And he was working on the man cave down there, so he's got a little spot. He's been trying to get me to go out there. You know what I mean? To record a show from there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to set up some mics. You know,
my mic sounds nice. Take one.
I remember you built this studio in Jersey.
I know.
It was elaborate. You had a great table with all these mics. I think we did one show and then you moved. I was like, what the hell, bro?
I know, man. I did a whole vlogumentary about designing the studio, the whole bit, painted it. You know, I bought I went to like the Joe Rogan setup. And we did 2 shows as a group in that room. We did two. Yeah.
Yo, that shit, it was legit, man. You had the cameras on all of us.
It was awesome, bro. I love that room. And then it was easy access to the backyard. It was just perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah, we didn't have to go through the main door. Like we came in through the. It was great. Was that the studio at the beginning of the show?
No, that's the first studio. That was the studio on the second floor. In that new house.
It was just you. Yeah.
The first real studio was in the basement. Remember?
In the basement, but it wasn't even that house. It was like a whole.
It was a condo.
Another house.
Yeah.
It's like it's local for real.
Yeah, I know. I was like, COVID started acting up. I said, I'm leaving. I'm getting out of New York, man. Just gotta go.
Bounce, bro.
Went out, left New York with no job, no nothing. I just like, whatever, we'll figure it out.
He was out here brokepreneuring.
I said, I'll figure it out when I get out there.
Brokepreneurial.
Took me a year to find a job. Damn. But
that is hilarious.
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah. I mean, I love that studio. That was a really good studio. That was good times.
It was good, man. It was good.
I had plans for that studio. I was gonna do live in studio interviews, and none of that came to fruition. None of that.
Oh God!
But you know what about risk taking? You know, speaking of local, there is an venue that I've been looking into. It's a huge event. It's a gamers event. It's called DreamHack in Dallas, but they have an artist alley. But it's this big tournaments and gaming and all this crazy stuff, and it's like hundreds of thousands of people.
You're trying to get a table there?
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I saw the artist alley. I was doing some research. It's 3 days. It's in Dallas. No staying at a hotel. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try my hand at that. You know, I was always on the fence about the anime, but I'm like, you know what? Gamers, they love stickers and love trading cards and all that stuff. I was like, yo, I'm gonna take a risk, baby. You know, it's like hence crazy. So,
hey man, it is what it is. Do your thing.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go hang out with the gamers and see what happens. So I'm gonna make sure I got some really cool duty as like gaming characters, the hottest gaming characters. I'm gonna have that with me as an arsenal. So I'm working on some stuff. So we'll try something. And hey, maybe might be, run into a gaming studio and be like, yo, I like that concept. Let's talk. So we'll see. You never know, man. Life's a gamble. You got to take a risk while you still can, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, it's for sure, man. I'm actually planning a little road trip out to the West Coast.
West
Side. So we'll see how that goes. But,
road trip? You're gonna drive?
Drive, dog. I love to drive, and I've always wanted to drive cross country. Like I've always wanted to do that. I'm a midlife crisis, bro. What you want me to do? Leave me alone.
I did it with Jonathan. It was painful.
I'm talking about all the way. I'm going all the way to Cali, like all the way.
Yeah. So you're passing Texas, going straight to Cali?
Passing. I'm gonna go.
That's like 48-hour drive, right? How many?
It's a day. Well, if you go straight, it's a day and it's 2 days, whatever. But I'm gonna do it in 4 because we're gonna stop. I'm planning. This is the plan. The plan is to go to Kentucky and go to the Muhammad Ali Museum. Right, that'll be my first stop.
Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Then go to Kansas, and since I'm in Kansas, why not go to the Oz?
There's no place like home.
You know what I'm saying? Go to the Oz Museum. Why not? Go there, and then from there go to New Mexico. And what's in New Mexico? Right? Roswell. We're gonna go to Roswell.
Yeah.
Check out the UFO museum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And from there, hit up Cali. So it's in the works. We'll see how it goes.
Cali.
I'll let you know. I should vlog that. I should probably vlog the little trip.
Yeah, man. That's legit. I was gonna go to Roswell. We were gonna go as a family trip, but it didn't pan out. And I was gonna spend the time to go in and go to all the places. And I was gonna try to, I was gonna go try to promote duty out there as well.
True.
But so I'm planning on it. It's on my list. I want to go hit it up, but. Yeah, road trips are good. I love driving. I just love driving, but that's smart. Stopping.
Yeah, you gotta stop.
Yeah, because we didn't stop.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you gotta try to, you gotta rest up a little bit.
We didn't stop. We had nothing but dog hair and throw up.
And that you see that again to Niva's point. That's why they call you crazy man. Who doesn't stop? Like, why wouldn't you stop? I gotta get there. Wait, how long did it take you guys to get there?
35 hours.
35 hours. Yeah.
35 hours because we stopped every 5 hours to walk the dogs.
Rent an RV, do it all Breaking Bad style. No method.
Yeah, man.
Speaking Jesse Pinkman.
Roswell, yeah, man.
Let's go, Lou. I'll pick you up on the way. It's on the way. New Mexico's on the way. Let's go.
Yeah, man.
Go. I wanted to go to Area 51. I wanted to go down to Nevada and go check out Area 51.
Well, you're not gonna make it there. You watch it from a distance.
Yeah.
Because those suckers come out of the ground.
Right. What are you doing here, sir?
They come out of nowhere. They're like right behind you. You don't even know. You're like trying to sneak up, and the guy's like behind you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, where'd you come from?
Don't turn around. I'm like, oh shoot.
I was watching some, some people who are, super snoops, and they try to get, once you're in eye distance of the first sign and says, off limits, do not go past this point. They're already on you. They're already on you, bro.
Spooky T2I. What up, my man? How's that book coming along, Spooky? Can't wait to see some more of your work, man. Big shout out to Spooky T2, who's working on Technogods. So the artist for Technogods. So big shout out to you.
Nice.
But yeah, brother. Anyway, listen, I gotta run because I gotta do some lettering. But next week we'll be back.
Yeah, next week we'll be back. We'll have another show again. Don't forget, January 1st kicks off the 20-year anniversary of There's an Alien in My Toilet. A lot of big things to come next year. There's going to be an art book that I'll be releasing in the fall that'll be distributed into stores. And I'm going to give 20 artists an opportunity to get their art of duty or their renditions of duty featured in that art book. It's going to be about a 200-page art book. And so more to come on that. And there's going to be a lot of celebrations next year for the 20th anniversary. There's going to be a special 20-year anniversary issue number 1 cover coming out next year, limited edition. But I'm excited about next year. So plus a lot of new projects with duty. So again, if you're watching this show, if you're listening to us on Spotify or any of the other platforms, hit that like button, subscribe, share, leave a comment. When we grow, the independent community grows. We've been doing this since 2005. We're the OGs, and it's an opportunity to put some eyes on the talent that comes on this show. So we appreciate every single one of you. With that said, it's coming. It's coming. With that said, I'm Sam, the crazy man, Vera.
George, the Juma Medina.
And we are
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy.
No, it's talking about my friend Acquise. I met him. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh, my.
He described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. This is Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.